Dear students, let's get started with our next Excel assignment. So this is the one S2 class roster instruction and quiz. So technically this is a quiz. First you have to run through the instructions, solve the Excel assignment, then take the quiz. And again, the rules are 2 attempts are allowed. So again, couple things can happen. It's a 50-point quiz. So in your first attempt itself, you might get 50 points. Well, in that case, you don't have to worry. Maybe in your first attempt, you might receive 20 points or 30 points. In that case, I will highly recommend you to take this next attempt. And suppose in your next attempt, if you take 50, if you get 50 points, then the scores will be average, meaning say in your first attempt you had 20, next attempt you have 50. So total will be 20 plus 50, which is 70 divided by 2 is 35. So eventually you'll be getting 35 points. So that's the averaging rule we have set for this quiz. Please keep that in mind. And well, one of the key thing we'll be learning as a part of this assignment is, some a function called as uh, concatenate text. Will be identifying and sorting based on the name ranges. We'll be using COUNTIF and COUNTIF function, similar to what we had used in our previous assignment as well. And again, last time also I said these are very easy to use and very important functions to know. And that's the reason why we are taking this next step forward. So using our X2 assignment, we'll be learning something more about the same. And for that reason, I will highly recommend you guys to get started. So very first is go to this assignment, download this class roster, and then we get started. Yeah. So please go ahead and download it. Once downloaded, yeah, let's open it. And yeah, a very good practice always. So whenever you see a data set given to you, suppose your boss comes to you, suppose your team comes to you and give you a data set and tell you to analyze. So the very first thing is quickly browse through, check the horizons. So again, from left to right, there is something called as L name, that is, I'm assuming last name, F name, first name, class, college, major, one. And then there is a to-do list similar to what we had solved in our previous assignment. So definitely these are set series of questions that we are going to solve. And on my extreme right hand side, I see something called as abbrev and major. So yeah, this is the abbreviations. And I see 5 of them: econ, finance, INFS, PFP, UVST, which is economics, finance, information systems, personal finance, planning, university studies, and something more. So again, like I quickly browse through on the screen. This is what I learned. And if I browse through, looks like, yeah, there are some limited data points. So 43 here, and again, it starts at 6. So again, less than 40 for sure. Something more is, and this is the practice that I like to do, I will quickly select these. So this whole row 5, and then I will go to data. And in this data tab, I will quickly click on this filter tab. So it will, yeah, apply those filters. And I'm quickly looking through. Again, there is a long list of last names, quickly a long list of first names. Class wise, yeah, there are only 2, JR, CSR. So I'm assuming it's junior and senior. College wise, there are 3. So College of Engineering / Technology, University College Woodbury School of Business, and majors. Let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So looks like these are the abbreviations used for these 5 majors, and these are the full forms of the same. Yeah. So again, quickly getting an understanding of what the data is. So overall, this is the structure of the data that is given to you, and this is the sheet that is called students. On top of it, there is another sheet. It says on a Mac. If I quickly go over there, yeah. So it looks like when we are solving this assignment using Excel in Word, yeah, I think this is how it will be looking like. And again, there are looks like there are few tricks here if you are using Mac. So that's what this sheet information on this sheet is showing you. So again, good to know information. So again, yeah, this is how like you quickly glance through initial, and then we'll get started on solving this assignment. Now let's quickly review what is asked in the to-do list, the task that we are supposed to complete as a part of this assignment. The very first being, they are asking us to go to H6, meaning H6 over here, and view and use this freeze pane option, which we'll be doing it shortly. Followed by, they are asking us to sort by last name, comma, first name. Then the next one is create an ID. So there is something called an ID they have already provided. So they are supposed to create one. Fourth one is use and or concatenate to create last name comma first name. So we are supposed to combine these last name comma first name in a separate column D. Then they are asking name column E6 to E43 as class name uh, O6. Yeah, cells. Yeah, the selection from O6 to P10 as abbrev underscore master. Then name or the cells G6 to G43 as major abbrev, followed by name H6 to H43 as major underscore full name. Then ninth, they're asking us to use VLOOKUP command to bring over the full names of the student majors, that is, bring over economics for econ. So over here, they are given these short forms. INFS, which is information systems, FINA, which is finance, and so on. So bring full name using VLOOKUP command from this master list that has been provided. 10th, they are asking us to use COUNTIF to count the number of juniors versus seniors. So here there is class given and two categories, junior versus senior. So you are supposed to use COUNTIF to count them, and here we'll be doing it. Then final question, they are asking us to create a table like table 3, splitting out major by whether student is a junior versus senior. Yeah. So again, there is major over here. We have 5 different majors, and we have 2 categories of class, which is junior versus senior. So we are supposed to create a slightly complex table, which we sort out within each major, like which are the students, which are how many are, okay, create a count of students who are either junior or senior. Yeah, so these are the tasks we are supposed to do. So shortly, let's complete it all. So the very first is, this is something that I had added to get a feel of what are all the options available within each of these categories. So I'm taking it away. Yeah, so I'm removing these filters, and how to do it is just like we got it. Go to the same place and remove them. So I'm selecting them, going to this data tab again, and you see these filters. I'm clicking this again, and it will go away. Yeah, so that's the first task. Let's get started with the first task. So the very first task is go to H6. So I'm going to H column and 6, and they're asking us to go to view and freeze panes. So I'm going to this tab called as view, and within this there is freeze panes, and I will make this selection freeze panes. And now you can see this pane is freeze, meaning if I click over here, like if I scroll through, everything above this is frozen. So everything below this will move up or down. But the top two rows are frozen, and same is the case on the sideways. Yeah, so you can see everything onto the left of this H6 is frozen. It won't move. Yeah, so that's the first task that we completed. The second task is they are asking us to sort by last name comma first name. So we are supposed to add 2 layers of filters over here. Yeah. So I'm going over here. Let's go ahead and search for those sort function. Yeah. So again, the very first one is over here. So I'm going to this home tab and clicking on this, and I'm going to select custom sort. And yeah, a window like this is popping up. Looks like I already played, so that's why this is coming. For you, it might not, this exact format might not pop up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these two, and then I'm going to start afresh. So the very first is I'm going to say plus add level. And for the very first, I'm going to say sort by. So here they are asking sort, the very first condition is L name, which is last name. So I'm going to select the same thing, L name. On top of it, I'm going to add another level. It says F name, which is the first name. So I'm going to select this F name and going to click OK. Yeah, looks like it did. So yeah, here is the alphabetic order, A, B, C, D, and so on. And then second condition is first name. So it looks like it did it. Now the next question is they are asking to create an ID. So again, you can see this column A. Yeah, starting from column A5, they have already given us this empty blank column named ID. So they want us to go ahead and create an ID. So this is something very cool about Excel is if I give a series of number, I'm just typing over here, say 1, 2, 3, and so on. One way to create these IDs is again, if I'm going to increase by number one count over here. So one way of doing it is I can give an equation. So equals to, I'm going to select the previous cell immediate above it. So it will be A8 plus 1. I'm going to click enter. And the next thing is, like here is the equation that I've created equals to A8 plus 1. Let me make it bigger. So yeah, this is the one A8 plus 1. And when I select that, when I execute that equation, it will give me the right number 4 over here. And you see I've selected over here, and on this cell over here, you can see this teeny tiny green colored square. So if I select this, my mouse cursor shape changes to a bold black plus sign. So that is giving me an option to make a selection. So I'm going to click it. So left click it, and I'm going to hold that left click and take it all the way to the bottom. And you see, I'm going to take it all the way to this cell A43 and release it. And you can see it has executed a same equation. So it is adding +1 to the previous cell. Yeah. So any selection I make over here, say this one, it is adding +1 to the previous selection, A19 plus 1. This is A20 plus 1 and so on. So that is one way of doing it. Second way, that is one way of doing it. I'm clicking Control Z, that is undo command over here, or for you, you can select this also. So it will take away the previous command that we have executed. And again, we are back to the same formula A8 plus 1. Second way of doing it is again, hover your mouse over here. Again, that small green square uh, until your mouse cursor takes this shape, which is bold black plus sign. And now I'm going to double click on this. Yeah, quickly double click. And when you do that, it will execute the same function again. It will until the last row to the to its adjacent column. Yeah, again it will go to all the way down until the last cell of your immediate adjacent column, and it will fill out all the information until that. Yeah, so you can see again the same thing was executed. So that's another way of doing it. Again, I'm going to click undo over here. And the next cool thing about Excel is, suppose if I add some, let me make some random, say 2, 4, 6. So I'm going to add these numbers in an increment of 2 over here. So 2, 4, 6. And if I select these two and drag it all the way down, you can see it kept on adding 2 every time. Yeah. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. So again, what Excel does is it tries to identify a pattern, and it will calculate and add those numbers all the way down. Yeah, so that's what I did over here. That's an easy way of doing it. I can do the same thing as long as they are like the numbers are like equally spaced. Yeah, so again, I can do 6, 12, 18, and so on. So again, I'm going to add 6 over here. And I'm going to drag, double click over here. So it is adding 6 to every number, and it will, complete this entire cell until, the last cell of the adjacent column, which is this B43. So you can see it added 6, until this cell A43. Yeah, so this is cool thing about Excel. So in this case, let's go with a simple way. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to select at least 2 of them, and I'm going to take my hover my mouse over here, that green square, until my cursor becomes bold black plus sign, and I'm going to double click over here. And you can see, like it has filled all the information until the last adjacent cell on the immediate next column, which is this B43. And again, you can see that there are entries of 38 students. Yeah. So again, luckily, this time we have less number of students, like only 38 to process, which is a great thing. And as we solve more and more assignments, you can see there will be some assignments that has 10,000 data points and so on. So these kind of features in Excel are very helpful when you have lots of data points. Yeah. With that said, yeah, like the first task, sorry, the second task is completed. First one completed, we freeze the pane. Second one is last name, first name sorted, done. Third one, we created an ID. Now let's arrange it. Let's make it more presentable. So I'm going to select the entire cell A, and I'm going to go over here. So home, something called as this alignment, and I'm going to say center, center. So with that, the alignment is fixed. The next question says, question number 4, insert a new column between F name and class and call it as name. It will become a new column D and push things to the right. Yeah. So insert a new column between F name and class. So here is my F name, here is my class. So all I'm going to do is hover my mouse over here on top, on top of this D cell, right click and say insert. Okay. So like the description over here, it says it will become a new column D. It has become and push things to the right. And we are supposed to name this as name, N-A-M-E, enter. This task also completed. Task number 5, use and or concatenate to create last name, comma, first name in column D. Yeah. So this command, concatenate, is nothing, it's a fancy name Excel uses to combine things. Yeah. So concatenate means nothing but combine. So there is one whole column that says last name, and there is a whole column called as first name. So these are the two. We are supposed to combine them, separated with a comma and a space. So let's give a try out on concatenate. So this is the exact format syntax I'm going to use. I'm going to start with cell D6. I'm going to type A equals to, and then type concat. And here you can see there are two concat commands, and I can I can select any of these. They both work exactly the same, but they have asked over here, I'm going to use their full name. It doesn't matter. You can use any. It works exactly the same. So once that's done, you see it starts the command. Then it is asking us to fill out this text 1, text 2, and comma, whichever. If you have a longer series of items we need to add. In this case, we just have 2. So I'm going to select this B6. Let's see what it does if I say B6, comma, C6 and then close the bracket and click enter. You can see it combined these names in this like similar format. So we are close enough, but not exactly where we are. So again, last name, comma, space, first name. So here we have last name, first name combined. Yeah, so there is no comma, no space. A few more modifications I'm going to do. And again, as a part of this learning in this class, let's try a few things. So I'm going to go here. Let's see what happens if I leave space over here. Yeah, B6, comma, space, C6. You can see it did nothing, right? So that doesn't help. So one way to add those spaces or any extra features or any extra letters or first of these commas and so on is start with a quote. So I'm going to say back, no space required. I'm going to start with a quote. And if I say start with 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces, close the quote, comma, C6. Let's see what happens. Awesome. So you can see there are 3 spaces between his last name, Anderson, 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces, Mark. So at Tija, we saw something change, right? So that's we are headed in the right direction. So if I remove 2 of these spaces and only have 1 space within these quotes and click enter, let's see what happens. So you can see um, Anderson, 1 space, Mark. So again, getting closer, now we have to add comma, right? So let's try something with, say, semicolon. If I add semicolon between these quotes, let's see what happens. Anderson, semicolon, Mark, no space. Awesome. So now we have identified that cause and effect. So what change we make over here and what effect it has. So that kind of thing. So eventually, like the question asked, I'm just going to use comma. And within the question, there is a space also. Yeah. So I'm going to comma space within the quote and close it out. And you see, this is exactly the right format I am wanting. They have asked us to do in this to-do list. Yeah, the task number 5, last name, comma, space, first name, last name Anderson, comma, space, first name. So looks like, yeah, this part is resolved. We have achieved what we want for the first cell. Now, yeah, we'll just drag it down or just double click over here. It will drag all the way down. So I'm hovering my mouse over here. Either I can click, hold the click and drag it down, or I will just take over here and double click. And the same formula will extend to the last adjacent uh, cell, yeah, within the this column, the immediate next column. So last like cell, we can have a quick check over here. Yes, you can see Jeff Bezos. Yeah, formula looks correct. Bezos underscore Jeff. Then yeah, Bond. Sorry, Bezos comma Jeff, Bond comma James, Bond comma Jason, Brin comma Sergi, and so on. A quick sanity check. Everything looks right. Excellent. So we completed this task as well. Now in the next task, question number 6, they are wanting us to name these series or cells. So they want us to name this E6 to E43 S class. So I'll go over here. So here is my E6 and here is my E43. Now this is another cool thing about Excel is, yeah, let's practice this. So I'm selecting this cell E6. Now on my keyboard, I'm clicking Control Shift together. I'll keep them clicked and I'm using a down arrow. It will go to the next immediate discontinued cell. Yeah. So again, yeah. Again, I'll do this same thing, clicking the cell E6. Then I'm on my keyboard, I'm clicking Control Shift down arrow. It will do, yeah, it will make a selection within that column, yeah, in the downward direction until the last discontinued cell. And again, if I do one more time, say Control Shift down arrow. Oh, sorry, yeah, because this window popped up. I'm going to redo it again. So Control Shift down arrow. It took me to the next discontinued cell. Yeah, right before it, and then keep it clicked, and again I'm clicking down arrow. It is going to take me to the very last cell, that is 1 million, yeah, 1048576. So this shows that, you know, within Excel you can process almost 104 million, yeah, 1.04 or almost 1.05 million row item. So to come back again, I'm going to say Control Shift up. It will take me to the next discontinued one, right? So again, we are back where here. Same applies for your right hand side also. Yeah. So if I select Control Shift right arrow, it will take me to the next immediate discontinued. So it will select all of them. And one more thing, this is using Windows. If I use Mac, I'm supposed to select Command, uh, yeah, Command Shift and right or left arrow, yeah, or Command Shift or up or down arrow. Yeah, so that's the difference between PC and Mac. So if you're using Mac, make sure instead of hitting Control Shift, you're selecting Command Shift and down or up arrow or left or right arrow. Yeah, so coming back where we are at, let's read the next question. It says name E6 to E43 as class. So just like the same logic I'm going to use, I'm going to select E6, Control Shift down arrow. So it's selected, or like E6 until E43. Now I'm going to go into the view. Oops, sorry, my present screen thing is coming in the way. Oops, it's not moving. Yeah, I know what happened. So let me come out. Again, making the selection. And now this is the space where you will name it. Yeah. So yeah, let me check what it wants me to call class. So I'm going to say, I'm going to name this group of cells as CLASS. I'm going to click enter. So again, this has been named as class. So to verify, you see I've come out of it where it doesn't no more says class. Once I make that selection, again, the same selection, it is telling me this is class. So it has been named. Yeah. So this task also completed number 6. Then they want us to name O6 to P10 as Abreu underscore master. Yeah. So again, O. Yeah, great. O6 to P10. Oops. Yeah, I know what happened. Uh, Yeah, before moving forward, let me do one more thing and I will tell you why. So I'm going to add our major, yeah, I'm going to add one more cell over here, say insert, that moves everything to my right. Yeah, it will push all of this to my right, and that makes it as O6 to P10 as abbreviation master, which is abbrev underscore master. Going back over here, I'm going to make this selection. This is my O6. And I'm going to use exactly the same logic, Control Shift down. So it will make the selection from top to bottom, from O6 to O10. I'm going to click both Control Shift selected. I'm going to click them, and I'm going to use the right arrow. So now you see what it did. It made the selection on the right cell also. And again, it selected these groups of cells instead of just one. It selected all these groups. So again, here is my selection O6 to P10, O6 P10, and they want us to name as abbrev underscore master. So again, I'm already in my view tab. Within view, here is the name I'm going to supposed to add. So abbrev underscore master is the name. I'm going to click enter. Looks like it did name. To double check, I'm going to click out and then again select these again. Yeah, you can see this name has been stored. So this has been named. So this task also completed. So again, indirectly, we are practicing naming the cells kind of task. So yeah, abbrev master. Then they want us to name G6 to G43 as master as major underscore abbrev. So G6 to G43. So again, I'm going to use the same logic, Control Shift down. Yeah, G6, G43. Again, I'm going to this view tab. Sorry, I'm already in the view tab and abbrev. Yeah, what's the name? Yeah, major underscore abbrev. MAJOR underscore ABBREV. Click enter. I'm going to click out and double check whether it is name. Yeah, it is name. Excellent. So even this task completed. Major abbrev. Task number 9 says name H6 to H43 as major underscore full name. So H6 to H43. Again, right now this is all blank. We're going to do something about it. And you see what happens. So again, this is all blank. If I select Control Shift down, it is going to take me to all the way to the last cell within this column H, which I do not want. So I'm going to go back again. And here I will do the manual selection. Click. Yeah, so selected H6 to H43, and they want us to name it as major underscore full name. Yeah, and you can see this, the space is less. Oh, sorry, I did it wrongly. No, not this place, so down. H6 H43 and major underscore full name. That has been named, and yeah, won't hurt to double check few things. So let's do that. Yeah, major underscore full name. It has been created. So this completes the naming, cell naming tasks that were there until task number 9. We have named all these cells. So we have 4 classes, right? Or 4 different groups. First one is class. Second one is abbrev underscore master. Third one is major underscore abbrev. Fourth one is major underscore full name. So these are the 4. How to know, like where to find the list of these names of, the cells that we have named. First one is easy way is over here. Just go over here and make this bigger. Yeah, it will just show the 4 groups of classes or cells that we have named. Other is, you see currently I'm at the home tab. I will go into the formulas. And within formula, there is something called as this name manager. And again, I'm using Windows. So that's why I have this name manager. If you are using a Mac, you will only have this define name. Define name tab. So again, here I'm going to click name manager in Windows. And again, oh, sorry, let me close this. If you are in Mac, yeah, this is the view you'll have in the formula. So this is the one. It says define name, click, and something depending on which version of Mac or the compatible software you are using, either this type of window or this type of window will pop up. And yeah, like in one of the version it will have add and delete, other version it won't have. It will have this plus or minus. Again, it's the similar function. But yeah, just for your information, the difference between Mac and Windows. So coming back, yeah, in my Windows, I'm going to this formula, and then I'm going to select this name manager. And when I do that, again, it is giving me all the list of the named group of cells. Yeah, so again, Abreu master class, major Abreu, major full name, and details are also there. Yeah, so again, all the list of values are over here. So again, I assume couple or some of these cells or group of cells have numerous number of data points. So you can see all of these here. We don't want to like it just for your reference. You don't want to see them all. Something more is you see it is giving you the range as well. Yes, so refers to within this student sheet equals to student. It is selling from O6 to P10 is Abreu master. E6 to E43 is class. Within this again students sheet G6 to G43 is your major Abreu, and major underscore full name is in the students sheet H6 to H43. And again, the scope is the entire workbook over here. This is just for your information. We'll be using it shortly. So that is just for information. One more thing I'm going to do over here is I'm going to name this cell K5 as major, and I will tell you why. Major. Oops, sorry, I know what I did. Yeah, it wasn't a continuous one. So instead of K, let's use this H5 MAJOR, enter. Now we are going to use the VLOOKUP command, and VLOOKUP command is nothing but you are supposed to go and search for a certain value for some matching parameter. So that's VLOOKUP. We are going to use it shortly. Now let's go ahead and solve this question 10. It says use VLOOKUP to bring over the full names for student majors, that is bring over economics for econ. Just to give you an example, here are the abbreviations for the major, and here's a list of major that has been provided in your original data. So again, for example, if the cell G6 says INFS, I want my command to say its information, info system in the immediate next cell. Same is the case with FINA. If it says FINA, I want to bring finance. Same is the case with PFP. I want it to bring about the command to bring it as personal finance planning. So so for that reason, we use this function called as VLOOKUP. So here is a syntax for it, equals to VLOOKUP. And again, when I do that, again, it is identified the command, which is in its library list. And again, this is the text I'm seeing. It says look for a value in a leftmost column of a table, and then returns a value in the same row from a column you specify. By default, the table must be stored in an ascending order, and so on. Again, it sounds complicated if you read. In simple word, what it is asking is, lookup value. Tell it what's the lookup value you're looking for. So like we have seen in this table over here, these are the matching lookup values which are stated in this raw data. So I'm going to say lookup for value in G6 in this case. Yeah, so I'm going to select this G6. Then I'm going to say comma. You see the lookup value has been selected. It changes color, meaning it is accepted. It located it and the format is accepted. So then I'm going to say comma. Then it is asking for a table array here. So again, in which table array I'm going to select. So again, technically this is the table, and again we kept the headers out. So only select the cells that says econ to UVST and the majors. And for that reason, we have already created a small table, mini table within it called as Abreu master, right? So this is the Abreu master. So I'm going to type in the same name, Abreu underscore master, or you can make the selection also. But again, in the longer run, this is the practice that will help you. So I'm going to say ABBREV underscore MAS master. Again, it changed the name, meaning it identified located the table and it has accepted it. That's why it changed the color to, yeah, solid like a red. And when I do that, and when I put comma, you can see this part is highlighted, meaning this is where it is going to look for the range of those cells. Now I put a comma, then it is asking for a column index number. And column index number is nothing but like after how many cells you want to search. So in this case, there are only two columns, right? First column says the abbreviation, which is this match, and second column is the major. So in this case, your answer is going to be 2. Oftentimes, if you are dealing with lots of data, say your name, your major, your phone number, your address, so on, if you have multiple columns, and if you want to check for information in your fifth column, then you have to put 5. In this case, you only have 1 and 2. So I'm going to put 2. Then it is asking me whether to find approximate match or exact match. If you exclude some exceptions, always and always it must be an exact match. So I'm going to put an false and close the bracket. I'm going to say enter, and you see it, yeah, it found. So it went, the VLOOKUP command went and looked for a abbreviation called as INFS within this table over here from O6 to P10. And as soon as it identified it, yeah, it is, yeah, entering the full major name, that is Info Systems. So this part is success. So I'm going to make this cell a bit bigger. And now since this worked, I'm going to drag it all the way down. Yeah, there are like, yeah, I'm just going to hover my mouse here in the corner where it has a small green square until my mouse cursor changes to like solid black plus sign, and I'm going to double click over here. And just a quick sanity check, this change correctly, change correctly, change correctly, change, and yeah, change correctly. Yeah, looks like everything is correct. So even this part is completed. Just for your practice, let me do a Control Z. Just for your practice, if you want to practice more, you can do the same thing here as well. So I'm going to say equals to VLOOK, VLOOKUP, close. And again, I'm going to select which lookup value, this value, comma, and which table array. So I can use either abbrev underscore master, that the mini table we created, or other ways I can just select all these and going to say comma. It's going to work the same. Again, the right way. And yeah, again, since yeah, I made those selection and Excel identified that we have named as abbrev master. So again, by default, it selected abbrev master. Yeah, this is another way to do it. Then see, in this case, the column index number is going to be 2 because we only have 2 columns. So I'm going to say 2, then comma, either find for approximate match, enter true, or exact match, false. So we want exact match. So I'm going to say FALSE, close it and say, so here also it did the right selection. So again, just for your practice, you can do that. Yeah. So I'm going to drag this all the way down. Everything looks right to me. So this part is also completed. The next question, question number 11, it is, oops. It is asking us to use COUNTIF to count the number of juniors versus seniors. Do the same to count how many of each major are in the class. So I'm going to move this question box over here so that I can see this class. I'm going to start afresh over here. So yeah, let me add a label, say class, and next to it is count. And again, as the question says, juniors versus seniors. So I'm going to add a couple of layers over here. And here it says JR and SR. So I'm going to use exactly same JR, SR terminology. And well, there are many ways to do it. And but again, using Excel, you are supposed to use some kind of commands to do. There are multiple ways to do it. Again, if you have small set of data, I can do some as simple as this, which is I'm selecting this whole row 5. I'm going to data, add filters, and yeah, within this class filter, again, these are check marked. I will just uncheck all and just say junior. And I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can go ahead and write 10 over here. And by default, if I have 38 number of data points, so if 10 are junior, my seniors are supposed to be, yeah, 38 minus 10, which is 28. So that's one way to do it. But again, when you are using Excel, yeah, the like your job, your bosses, they don't expect you to manually count it, and that's the power of Excel. So you are supposed to use some kind of formulas and so on. So for that reason, this COUNTIF, we are going to use this COUNTIF formula. So again, I'm going to take this off and how to use that formula. Yeah. So I'm going to start with E equals to COUNTIF and I'm going to close it out. Now it is asking for the range where I'm supposed to ask. Yeah. So again, we have already created this range or a table with a single column called as class. So I'm going to look it into class. Other way is I can just select all of these, the entire range, and that's okay as well. And yeah, I selected those and I'm going to say comma. So you see, when I selected those, by default, it identified that the whole range is a class that we created. And now it is asking, what is the criteria? What are we supposed to search? Again, there are few ways to do it. And again, we have done this in our like previous assignment also. So I'm going to start with a quote and I'm supposed to type JR. And yeah, like ideally, I will prefer using the same caps, which is GR. Let's see whether this function is case sensitive or not. So just for a trial basis, I'm going to say GR smaller and close the quote and close the bracket and say enter. And it is giving me 10. So this formula is not case sensitive. So this format of the formula is not case sensitive. That's what is proved over here. But yeah, this is how you use. Same is the case with yes, SR also. So I'm going to start with E equals to COUNTIF. Range, I'm going to say CLASS. Yeah, this is the class cell that we have created. I'm going to say comma. And again, it changed the color to like solid blue, meaning it identified and accepted. Then it is asking you for the criteria. So again, this time I'm going to say either SR caps or again, it can be small. It's not case sensitive. uh, Bracket close. Yeah, it's going to say 28. Other way to do it. And again, I want you to know that there are this is a one way to do it. So this time I don't want to type the exact criteria. Suppose I have hundreds of these criteria and say 10,000 or 100,000 data points. So in that case, typing those 100 each time will be a hassle for me. So again, I'm going to ask it to look for this cell J7 and I'm going to close it out. So you see there is no quotes over here. I'm just selecting the cell G7, close it out and say, yeah, it is telling me there are 28 of these. Yeah. So again, this is another way to do it. Use the COUNTIF formula. Next one is just like the typo, we saw example over here. So for example, if this GR has a space, again, just visually looking at here, we don't see that. Maybe yeah, if there is a space over here, I'm going to click enter. So you see this number change. It was 10. So yeah, visually it looks JR to us, but again, there is a space. So for the COUNTIF formula, it didn't find the exact match. So it ignored this data point and it is telling that there are only 9 JRs over here. Yeah, so that can happen. So you have to be cautious. So oftentimes if number doesn't match, based on what you will expect, these could be another reason. That is either there is a typo, there is a space, yeah, there is a comma, or there is a dot. Still, it is not the exact match, so it won't be counting it. So again, as soon as I removed that comma or space, it went back. Other way to just verify, and again, this is most of people use, even I use it. So again, we know the total number of data points are 38. In this case, we are doing a simple summary measure, the GR versus SR. So 10 plus 28 is 38. And again, if you have lots of data points, maybe you don't have that luxury or just manually counting and verifying it. So for that reason, there is this AutoSum I prefer using. So I'm clicking So again, I'm selecting this empty cell right below the summary 10 and 28, and I'm going to click AutoSum. It is asking me, are these the right selections of sum I'm looking for? I'm going to say yes by pressing enter. It is going to say 38. So that confirms that, yeah, it has accounted all. And I'll just make this selection. Yeah, just make it presentable. So this collects, yeah, this completes our first part where it says use COUNTIF to count the number of juniors versus seniors. Interesting thing about VLOOKUP is, again, in this case, the data we used, it was clean data, no typos, and like no space and so on. Just to give you some demo about what can go wrong, and again, where to look for the source of a problem. Suppose in this case, yeah, it says major, abbreviation says econ. Suppose this was econ space. Yeah. So again, visually we can't see it. So again, I'm giving space. I'm going to enter. So the VLOOKUP says it is not able to find this exact match for econ, because for us visually looking at it, this econ looks similar to this, but again there is a space involved over here. And for VLOOKUP, again that's not a clean data. So that's one mistake that can happen. So just keep that thing in mind. So before you start again, or like when you are doing a sanity check, if you don't see some things right, although visually they look right to you, these could be some of the potential issues. Again, I took that space off, and again it came back to where it was. Other part is, you remember, like very start we froze this panes H6 and view, and now since we have like added this name column over here, so this has shifted. So every time I move this, the major part goes away. Yeah, it's just that because until here everything is frozen. It's yeah, we freeze the panes. So to yeah, get away from that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go home and then go to view over here. And you see this is the exact tab we use. So I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to say unfreeze panes. I think that will unfreeze my panes. And I'm going to go to the neighboring cell, which is I6. And then I'm going to go to freeze pane again and say freeze. So this will, yeah, freeze everything up and down at the sixth row, and left and right on this ith column. So yeah, looks like this will work out well for me. So these are few things that can happen, go wrong with VLOOKUP. One more thing is, since we created this major like full name, let's name this cell as a major full name. So I'm going to again select H6 and say Control Shift down. If you're using Mac, say Command Shift down, and go to the last cell of this table. Now, oops, looks like, yeah, I mean, I was practicing, so that's why it's already named a major underscore full name. But in this case, yeah, let's follow this MAJOR underscore FULLNAME. And this has to be the exact syntax. And again, you have to use underscore. I don't think it takes Excel takes spaces. So let me try. So again, instead of underscore, I'm going to say major space full name. I'm going to click enter. You see it gave me an error. Yeah, it says it's not a valid reference. So yeah, it has to be underscore. So the underscore, I'm going to say, okay, so this has been named. So this group of cells has been named as major underscore full name. The next question number 11, it is, oops. It is asking us to use COUNTIF to count the number of juniors versus seniors. Do the same to count how many of each major are in the class. So I'm going to move this question box over here so that I can see this class. I'm going to start afresh over here. So yeah, let me add a label, say class, and next to it is count. And again, as the question says, juniors versus seniors. So I'm going to add a couple of layers over here. And here it says JR and SR. So I'm going to use exactly same JR, SR terminology. And well, there are many ways to do it. And but again, using Excel, you are supposed to use some kind of commands to do. There are multiple ways to do it. Again, if you have small set of data, I can do some as simple as this, which is I'm selecting this whole row 5. I'm going to data, add filters, and yeah, within this class filter, again, these are check marked. I will just uncheck all and just say junior. And I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can go ahead and write 10 over here. And by default, if I have 38 number of data points, so if 10 are junior, my seniors are supposed to be, 38 minus 10, which is 28. So that's one way to do it. But again, when you are using Excel, yeah, like your job, your bosses, they don't expect you to manually count it, and that's the power of Excel. So you are supposed to use some kind of formulas and so on. So for that reason, this COUNTIF, we are going to use this COUNTIF formula. So again, I'm going to take this off, and how to use that formula. Yeah. So I'm going to start with E equals to COUNTIF, and I'm going to close it out. Now it is asking for the range where I'm supposed to ask. Yeah. So again, we have already created this range or a table with a single column called as class. So I'm going to look it into class. Other way is I can just select all of these, the entire range, and that's okay as well. And yeah, I selected those and I'm going to say comma. So you see, when I selected those, by default, it identified that the whole range is a class that we created. And now it is asking, what is the criteria? What are we supposed to search? Again, there are few ways to do it. And again, we have done this in our like previous assignment also. So I'm going to start with a quote and I'm supposed to type JR. And yeah, like ideally, I will prefer using the same caps, which is GR. Let's see whether this function is case sensitive or not. So just for a trial basis, I'm going to say GR smaller and close the quote and close the bracket and say enter. And it is giving me 10. So this formula is not case sensitive. So this format of the formula is not case sensitive. That's what is proved over here. But yeah, this is how you use. Same is the case with the SR also. So I'm going to start with equals to COUNTIF. Range, I'm going to say CLASS. Yeah, this is the class cell that we have created. I'm going to say comma. And again, it changed the color to like solid blue, meaning it identified and accepted. Then it is asking you for the criteria. So again, this time I'm going to say either SR caps or again, it can be small. It's not case sensitive. Bracket close. Yeah, it's going to say 28. Other way to do it. And again, I want you to know that there are this is a one way to do it. So this time I don't want to type the exact criteria. Suppose I have hundreds of these criteria and say 10,000 or 100,000 data points. So in that case, typing those 100 each time will be a hassle for me. So again, I'm going to ask it to look for this cell J7 and I'm going to close it out. So you see there is no quotes over here. I'm just selecting the cell J7, close it out and say, yeah, it is telling me there are 28 of these. Yeah. So again, this is another way to do it. Use the COUNTIF formula. Next one is just like the typo, we saw example over here. So for example, if this GR has a space, again, just visually looking at here, we don't see that. Maybe if there is a space over here, I'm going to click enter. So you see this number change. It was 10. So yeah, visually it looks JR to us, but again, there is a space. So for the COUNTIF formula, it didn't find the exact match. So it ignored this data point and it is telling that there are only 9 JRs over here. Yeah, so that can happen. So you have to be cautious. So oftentimes if number doesn't match, based on what you will expect, these could be another reason. That is either there is a typo, there is a space, yeah, there is a comma, or there is a dot. Still, it is not the exact match, so it won't be counting it. So again, as soon as I removed that comma or space, it went back. Other way to just verify, and again, this is most of people use, even I use it. So again, we know the total number of data points are 38. In this case, we are doing a simple summary measure, the GR versus SR. So 10 plus 28 is 38. And again, if you have lots of data points, maybe you don't have that luxury or just manually counting and verifying it. So for that reason, there is this AutoSum I prefer using. So I'm clicking So again, I'm selecting this empty cell right below the summary 10 and 28, and I'm going to click AutoSum. It is asking me, are these the right selections of sum I'm looking for? I'm going to say yes by pressing enter. It is going to say 38. So that confirms that, yeah, it has accounted all. And I'll just make this selection. Yeah, just make it presentable. So this collects, this completes our first part where it says use COUNTIF to count the number of juniors versus seniors. Now the next one, it is asking you to do the same to count how many of each major are in the class. So for that reason, I'm going to create, say I'm going to start with this cell J11. Yeah, let's leave couple. I'm going to name it as MAJOR, count, COUNT. And previously, we know we have used this VLOOKUP command. We are using this full name. So let's continue with the same. One thing is, yeah, let's copy. Yes, yeah, let's go to the format. Yeah, let's copy the format over here. So I'm going to select, yeah, copy, select this cell J5. I'm going to go over here, home, format painter. I'm going to paste it over here. And same thing, I should have done both, but no worries. More practice. Format painter, paste it over here. So again, it is for we are copying the same format coming out of it. So yeah, let's go with the full major name. So again, major. So the very first thing is I'm going to select all of these, and again we have named these as major underscore full name. So I could have done that as well, but yeah, no worries here. So I'm selecting this, say Control C, and then I'm going to paste it over here and see what happens. So when I did that, well, it copied the entire formula because these, although you are seeing these as major full names, it is a part of this VLOOKUP formula we used where, we identified these short forms, abbreviations, and the VLOOKUP formula went over here and yeah, copy pasted and identified and pasted the major full name. So again, it's still copying the formula. For that reason, so this won't work. Yeah, because you see, it is looking somewhere over here in the aberration master and so on, and it won't work. So for that reason, I'm going to say Control Z, take it away. So you see this whole selection is still there. Yeah, let me just reselect it. Doesn't matter. Again, the whole selection is still here. Now I'm going to click my mouse over here and I'm going to say paste. Yeah, right click in this cell and then I'm going to say paste values. Yeah, so you see this second that says 1, 2, 3. In the paste option, there is second says paste values. I'm going to do that. And again, it is going to paste the values. So yeah, this part is completed. And when I did it, again, you can see it copy pasted all of the cells. Yeah, all, each and every. So there are duplications and so on. So for that reason, let's go ahead to this home cell. Sorry, a data cell, and there is this sub tab called as data tools, and within that there is remove duplicates. So again, the whole selection is there. So again, make sure if it is not selected, make sure you select all of these and say remove duplicates. It is telling expand the selection in Microsoft. I will say continue with the current selection only. And when I do that, yeah, it is telling here major. That's correct. I'm going to say OK. And now it is saying it removed 33 duplicate values found and removed. 5 unique values remain. Note that the counts may include empty cells, spaces, etc. Also, in that case, that's that's not our case. We know that. So again, these are the 5 unique selections. Yeah, 5 majors, the unique ones. And these are exactly, I mean, I could have straight away copy pasted, but I wanted to show you again the remove duplicate part and paste special thing. Yeah, so that's why we did it. So this part is completed. Now, similar to what we did over here, that is the COUNTIF, here we will do the same. So for the very first, I'm going to say equals to COUNTIF, the singular one. I'm not using S COUNTIFs. I'm using this COUNTIF only. Then it is asking me for the range. So again, we have named this, right? That is major underscore full name. So yeah, I can either go ahead and select all of these. And like I said, if you have multiples of these, it might be an issue. So yeah, like manually selecting will be an issue. So that's why, yeah, it's always wise to use the name. So again, here it is the major full name, it's selected. And then what is the criteria it is supposed to look for? So again, I'm supposed to look it for this info system. So exact match in cell J12, I'm going to select this and I'm going to close it out and say enter. So it is telling me there are 7 majors with, sorry, 7 students with majoring info systems. And I'm going to drag the formula down. Yeah, and when I see randomly select this part, yeah, since I have logged this like major full name, it is only going to search through it and it is going to search for this formula G15. And like I said, how do we know whether there are any typos or if these calculations are right or wrong? Just like the sum function. Sorry, the auto sum function. So I'm going to click my cursor over here below these yeah, series of accounts. And now I'm going to go to this AutoSum, and now AutoSum is asking me, well, is this the right selection? I'm looking to sum. I'm going to, yeah, visually looks right to me. I'm going to say enter, and it is saying 38. So I know the total counts are 38. If this is 38, meaning highly likely these are the right counts. So this completes our this part as well. That is, do the same to count how many of each major are in the class. Now the next question, question number 12, it says then create a table like the previous table, spreading out major by whether a student is a junior versus senior. So hint, use COUNTIFs with S, which indicates multiple condition. So COUNTIF is a slightly complicated formula. In this case, I will say there is only two-step count, so only two levels of formula. So it's not as complicated. But working for an industry, it can have n number of conditions that you might need to integrate within this COUNTIF formula. So again, very powerful tool. So similar to what we did previously, I'm going to start with. I'm going to leave a couple of cells over here and start formulating our summary table. So very first is like what we did over here, that is major count. So I'm going to start with similar MAJOR. Then junior or senior. So I'm going to say JR, then SR, and I'll just say this is count or total. And I'm going to copy and paste the format. So I'm going to select these two, going home and then format painter. So copy these format and pasting it over here. So two taken care of. Again, the same, copy the format and paste it over here. So the format is matching. Similar to what we did over here, I'm just going to replicate. You can straight away copy paste these, but I'm going to replicate it just as a practice. So again, major full name, cells that we created. So again, from top to bottom, you see major full name. I'm going to say Control C, and like we said, this is again still a VLOOKUP. So I'm going to click over here and say paste. Within the paste option, paste values. All of them are going to be pasted. So again, I'm going to remove the duplicates. So again, go to home, and within home, and then next go to data, and within data, data tools has remove duplicates. So I'm going to click this. It is asking me whether to expand the selection or continue with the current. This case, I again want to continue with the current only. So I'm going to select continue with the current selection only and say remove duplicates. It is telling me here within which column. So I'm going to say major and say OK. So it is telling me the same message previously, 33 duplicates value found and removed, 5 unique remaining. Note that counts may include empty cells, space, etc. and so on. In this case, we know that's not the case, but so I will click OK. So yeah, this is the multi-level or two-level table that we have to create. One is a measure, other part, the second level is within each of these measures, whether the enrolled student is a junior or a senior, and then finally a total sum. So for that, let's standardize. Boom. Later on, we'll be needing this when we do the auto sum. I'll make this slightly smaller so that it comes in the same window view. Awesome. Let's start our COUNTIF formula. So equals to COUNTIF. This time I'm going to use a multi-level, that is S COUNTIFs. So that gives you the luxury of adding multiple criteria in counting rather than just one. Start a bracket, then it is asking me for the range. So again, we will start with this major range. Yeah. So again, this major, and let's go with the full name. So again, the name we have stated is like major underscore full name, right? So I can start with that, say MA, and I'm going to select this major underscore full name, and then comma. Now it is asking for the criteria. So for very first, within this entire selection, I'm going to select for info system. So I'm going to say J21. Then I will start with a comma. Yeah, so first criteria completed. Now it is asking for the second criteria name. So the second criteria is we want to know whether it is a junior or a senior. So again, that table range is class. So I'm going to say, again, we have named it. So I'm going to say CLASS. Yeah, you see it is showing what is the name. So I'm going to select class. Again, I change the color to like purple. So again, it identified and located it and accepted it. Now I'm going to say comma. Now it is asking for the criteria. So again, I can either put those quotes SR, GR, since we only have two. But like I said, it's a good practice to use the standard like cells. So in this case, we know, the GR is K21, although it's, sorry, K20, although it's not visible over here. So I'm going to select this and going to take one arrow down. So that selects this K20, and that's the GR. And I'm going to close the bracket because that completes my all the criterias. Although something important I want you to see is later on when we fill out the other cells over here, you see we will be moving from this cell that is J21 to J22, J23, J24, J25. So again, this in the first criteria, this the J will remain constant, but this 21, 22, 23 until 25 will change. So for that reason, I'm going to add a dollar sign over here, and by adding the dollar sign, well, if there is no dollar sign, it's just a cell like these J21, it's called as a relative reference. I'm going to change the column only relative reference to an absolute reference by adding a dollar sign. And I'm going to add the dollar sign only in front of J, so that Excel will have the luxury to change this number 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 as it moves from top to bottom. The next one is even more important because we always, for all these cells we are really checking, we only and only want to look for JR, which is this cell K20. So I'm going to I'm going to change it from relative reference K20 to absolute reference $K $20. I'm going to say enter. So again, it is telling me there is only one student with information system major who is a junior. Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to drag all the way this whole down and let's check. One way to check is, you see the count of all the juniors was 10, right? That's what we summarized previously. Go here, it is 10. So highly likely this formula is correct. I'll just do a sanity check, randomly select one of them. This looks right. So it is looking for economics and this cell JR. So everything is right. Same thing, either I can copy paste and do the necessary changes required in the cells, or I can recreate. So let's do the first one, that is copy paste. So I'm copying this formula from cell K21, Control C, and pasting it over here. So again, when I go over here, you can see first part correct. It is looking for cell J21. So again, information systems correct. The other part isn't correct. It is looking for K20, which is JR. And again, we are in the SR. So the only change I need to make over here is from K, I need to change to L. Changing it to L. And again, it's a absolute reference dollar in both cases. So it is always going to look for this cell only, character in this cell. So I'm going to say enter. So it is telling me there are 6. If I drag everything down, and when I check, this is 28. And again, seniors are 28, double check, this is correct. So this is one way to do it. Second way is, like copy pasting. Second way is just let's recreate the entire COUNTIFs formula. So I'm going to say escape. Start again for the SR. So starting at cell L and 20. So this one, L and 21. So equals to COUNTIFS start. It is asking me for a first criteria. So I'm supposed to look at info systems, and just like what we did, I want this selection in J to be constant. Again, that should be locked down. So this is your relative reference. I'm going to change it to absolute reference for J only by adding a dollar in front. I'll leave the 21 as is, no change. Oh, sorry, I went too far. So going back. So starting this, let me just restart everything. Equals to COUNTIFS. First is asking for the criteria range. So like we said, major, right? MAJOR. You see, it is, it identified this letter, and we are supposed to select this major underscore full name. So within this criteria range, what is the criteria? So I'm going to say comma. The criteria is this one, J21. And again, I'm going to make it as an absolute reference for J only. So dollar. Next one is, it is asking for the criteria range for the second condition we are supposed to use. So again, in this class, we are supposed to look for senior. So I know it's here, but again, it's not visible. So I'm going to select this and move my cursor down using down arrow. So it's selected L20. So again, I want one thing I missed it again. So I'm backing it off. The first condition cleared. Next one is, it is supposed to look within this range, that is class. CLASS. So select this class, comma, criteria. So criteria is L20. And again, it is always supposed to look for L20, which is SR. So I'm going to use absolute reference, dollar in front of L, dollar in front of 20. This completes both of my conditions I'm looking for. I'm going to say enter. So it is telling me there are six number of seniors who are majoring in info systems. I will just drag this whole formula down, and these are the numbers I get. And one way to check it, just check the sum. Yeah, so seniors 28. Looks like, I mean, the sum is matching. So highly likely all my sum is correct. And then just do a sanity check. Yeah, so equals to sum of all these 2, 3, 4, 5, close. I'm going to drag the formula to the right. So 10 juniors, 28 seniors. Yeah, so this is way to validate, verify is 10 juniors, 28 seniors. Then I'm going to do sideways. Yeah, so equals to sum of these two. And I'm going to drag this formula all the way down. And this also equals to sum. Other way to validate is, you see Info Systems has 7 students. Info Systems has 7. So again, we verified, validated. Finance has 26 students. Finance has 26 students. Personal Finance Planning has 2. Economics has 2. Here also economics has 2. University Studies has 1. University Studies has 1. So that validates. This completes our entire assignment. Thank you so much for your time and attention, guys.